Why do you come before me? Why do you carry the branches of suppliants, while the city smokes with incense and murmurs with prayer and lamentation? I would not learn from any mouth but yours, old man. Therefore I question you myself. Do you know of anything that I can do and have not done? How can I, being the man I am, being King Oedipus, do other than all I know? I were indeed hard of heart, did I not pity such suppliants.
Oedipus, king of my country, we who stand before your doors are of all ages, some too young to have walked so far, others priests of Zeus, such as I, too old. Among us stand the pick of the young women, while behind in the marketplaces the people throng, carrying suppliant branches, for the city stumbles toward death, barely able to lift its head. A blight has fallen upon the fruitful blossoms of the land, a blight upon flock and field and upon the bed of marriage. A plague ravages the city. Oedipus, king, not God, but foremost of living men, seeing that when you first came to this town of thieves, you freed us from that harsh singer, the riddling Sphinx, we beseech you, all we suppliants, to find some help. Whether you find it by your power as a man, or because being near the gods, a god has whispered you. Uplift our state. Think upon your fame. Your coming brought us luck. Be lucky to us still. Remember, it is better to rule over men than over a waste place, since neither walled town nor ship is anything, if it be empty, and no man within it.
My unhappy children, I know well what need has brought you, what suffering you endure. Yet sufferers though you be, there is not a single one whose suffering is as mine. Each mourns himself, But my soul mourns the city, myself, and you. It is not, therefore, as if you came to arouse a sleeping man. No, be certain that I have wept many tears, and searched hither and thither for some remedy. I have already done the only thing that came into my head for all my search. I have sent the son of Menecius, Creon, my own wife's brother, to the Pythian house of Phoebus, to hear if deed or word of mine may yet deliver this town. I am troubled, for he is a long time away, a longer time than should be. But when he comes, I shall not be an honest man unless I do whatever the god commands.
You have spoken at the right time, for they have just signaled us that Creon has arrived.
O King Apollo, may he bring brighter fortune, for his face is shining.
He brings good news, for he is crowned with bay.
We shall know soon. Brother-in-law, Menecius' son, what news from the god?
Good news, for pain turns to pleasure when we have set the crooked straight.
But what is the oracle? So far the news is neither good nor bad.
If you would hear it with all these about you, I am ready to speak. Or do we go within?
Speak before all. The sorrow I endure is less for my own life than these.
Then, with your leave, I speak. Our Lord Phoebus bids us drive out a defiling thing that has been cherished in this land.
By what purification?
King Laius was our king before you came to Pilatus.
I know, but not of my own knowledge, for I never saw him.
He was killed. And now the god bids us revenge it on his murderers, whoever they be.
Where shall we come upon their track after all these years? Did he meet his death in house or field, at home or in some foreign land?
In a foreign land. He was journeying to Delphi.
Did no fellow traveler see the deed? Was there none there who could be questioned?
All perished but one man who fled in terror and could tell for certain but one thing of all he had seen.
One thing might be a clue to many things.
He said that they were fallen upon by a great troop of robbers.
What robbers would be so daring, unless bribed from here?
Such things were indeed guessed at. But Laius once dead, no avenger arose. We were amid our troubles.
But when royalty had fallen, what troubles could have hindered search?
The riddling Sphinx put those dark things out of our thoughts. We thought of what had come to our own doors.
But I will start afresh and make the dark things plain. In doing right by Laius, I protect myself, for whoever slew Laius might turn a hand against me. Come, my children, rise up from the altar steps. Lift up those suppliant boughs, and let all the children of Cadmus be called hither, that I might search out everything, and find for all happiness or misery, as God wills.
O Phoebus, sender of the oracle, come with it and be our savior, and deliver us.
Famous Thebes from the golden house? What message of disaster from that sweet-throated Zeus? What foul things that our fathers saw do the seasons bring? Or what that no man ever saw? What new monstrous thing? Trembling in every limb, I raise my loud, importunate cry, and in a sacred terror wake the daily in God's reply. Apollo chased the god of death that leads no shouting men, bears no rattling shield, and yet consumes this form with pain. Famine takes what the plague spares, and all the crops are lost. No new life fills the empty place. Ghost flits after ghost to that God-trodden western shore, as flit benighted birds. Sorrow speaks to sorrow and finds no comfort in words. Thebes with the fair wind behind, out unto that formless deep where not a man can find hold for an anchor flip, for all is well enfolding sea. Master of the thundercloud, set the lightning free, and add the thunderstorm to that, and fling them on his head, for death is all the fashion now, till even death dead. We call against the pallid face of this god-hated god, the springing heel of Artemis in the Arctic sandal shod, the tousle-headed Maenad, lone torch and drunken sound, the stately Lycian king himself with golden fillet brown, and in his hands the golden bow and the stretched golden and Bacchus wide and sanguine face that all the Maenads sing.
You are praying, and it may be that your prayer will be answered, that if you hear my words and do my bidding, you may find a help out of all your trouble. This is my proclamation, children of Cadmus. Whoever among you knows by what man Laius, son of Labdicus, was killed, must tell all he knows. If he fear for himself, and being guilty denounce himself, he shall be in the less danger, suffering no worse thing than banishment. If, on the other hand, there be one that knows that a foreigner did the deed, let him speak, and I will give him a reward and my thanks. But if any man keeps silent from fear or to screen a friend, hear all I will do to that man. No one in this land shall speak to him, nor offer sacrifice beside him, but he shall be driven from their homes as if he himself had done the deed. And in this I am the ally of the Pythian god and of the murdered man. And I pray that the murderer's life may, should he be so hidden and screened, drop from him and perish away, whoever he may be, whether he did the deed with others or by himself alone. And on you I lay it to make, so far as man may, these words good, for my sake, and for the god's sake, and for the sake of this land. And even if the god had not spurred us to it, it were a wrong to leave the guilt unpurged, when one so noble, and he, your king, had perished. And all have sinned who could have searched it out and did not. And now, since it is I who hold the power that he held once, and have his wife for wife, she who would have borne him heirs had he but lived, I take up this cause even as I would were it that of my own father. And if there be any who do not obey me in it, I pray that the gods send them neither harvest of the earth nor fruit of the womb, but let them be wasted by this plague, or by one more dreadful still. But may all be blessed forever who hear my words and do my will.
We do not know the murderer, and it were indeed more fitting that Phoebus, who laid the task upon us, should name the man.
No man can make the gods speak against their will.
Then I will say what seems the next best thing.
If there is a third course, show it.
I know that our Lord Tiresias is the seer most like our Lord Phoebus, and through him we may unravel all.
So I was advised by Creon, and twice already have I sent to bring him.
If we lack his help, we have nothing but vague and ancient rumors.
What rumors are they? I would examine every story.
Certain wayfarers were said to have killed the king.
I know. But who was there that saw it?
If there is such a man, and terror can move him, he will not keep silence when they have told him of your curses.
He that such a deed did not terrify will not be terrified because of a word.
But there is one who shall convict him, for the blind prophet comes at last, in whom alone of all men the truth lives.
Tiresias, master of all knowledge, whatever may be spoken, Whatever is unspeakable, whatever omens of earth and sky reveal, the plague is among us. And from that plague, great prophet, protect us and save us. Phoebus, in answer to your question, has said that it will not leave us until we have discovered the murderers of Laius and driven them into exile or put them to death. Do you therefore neglect neither the voice of birds nor any other sort of wisdom, but rescue yourself, rescue the state, rescue me, rescue all that are defiled by the deed. For we are in your hands, and what greater task falls to a man than to help other men with all he knows and has?
Aye, and what worse task than to be wise and to suffer for it? I know this well. It slipped out of mind, or I would never have come.
What now?
Let me go home. You will bear your burden to the end more easily, and I bear mine if you but give me leave for that.
Your words are strange and unkind to the state that bred you.
I see that you on your part keep your lips tight shut, and therefore I have shut mine that I may come to no misfortune.
For God's love, do not turn away if you have knowledge. We suppliants implore you on our knees.
You are fools. I will bring misfortune neither upon you nor upon myself.
What is this? You know all and will say nothing. You are minded to betray me and Thebes?
Why do you ask these things? You will not learn them from me.
What? Basest of the base! You would enrage the very stones. Will you never speak out? Cannot anything touch you?
The future will come of itself, though I keep silent.
Then, seeing that come it must, you had best speak out.
I will speak no further. Rage if you have a mind to. Bring out all the fierceness that is in your heart.
That will I. I will not spare to speak my thoughts. Listen to what I have to say. It seems to me that you have helped to plot the deed, and short of doing it with your own hands, have done the deed yourself. Had you eyesight, I would declare that you alone had done it.
So that is what you say. I charge you to obey the decree that you yourself have made, and from this day out to speak neither to these nor to me. You are the defiler of this land.
So brazen in your impudence! How do you hope to escape punishment?
I have escaped. My strength is in my truth.
Who taught you this? You never got it by your art.
You, because you have spurred me to speech against my will.
What speech? Speak it again, that I may learn it better.
You are but tempting me. You understood me well enough.
No, not so that I can say I know. Speak it again.
I say that you are yourself the murderer that you seek.
You shall rue it for having spoken twice such outrageous words.
Would you that I say more, that you may be still angrier?
Say what you will. I will not let it move me.
I say that you are living with your next of kin in unimagined shame.
Do you think you can say such things and never smart for it?
Yes. If there be strength in truth.
There is, yes, for everyone but you, but not for you that are maimed in ear and in eye and in wit.
You are but a poor wretch, flinging taunts that in a little while everyone shall fling at you.
Night, endless night has covered you up, so that you can hurt neither me nor any other man that looks upon the sun.
Your doom is not to fall by me. Apollo is enough. It is his business to work out your doom.
Was it Creon that planned this, or you yourself?
Creon is not your enemy. You are your own enemy.
Power, ability, position. You bear all burdens, and yet what envy you create. Great must that envy be, if envy of my power in this town, a power put into my hands unsought, has made trusty Creon, my old friend Creon, secretly long to take that power from me, if he has suborned this scheming juggler, this quack and trickster, this man with eyes for his gains and blindness in his art. Come, where did you prove yourself a seer? Why did you say nothing to set the townsmen free when the riddling Sphinx was here? Yet that riddle was not for the first comer to read. It needed the skill of a seer, and none such had you, neither found by help of birds, nor straight from any god. No, I came, I silenced her, I, the ignorant Oedipus. It was I that found the answer in my mother wit, untaught by any birds. And it is I that you would pluck out of my place, thinking to stand close to Creon's throne. But you and the plotter of all this shall mourn, despite your zeal to purge the land. Were you not an old man, you had already learnt how bold you are, and learnt it to your cost.
Both this man's words and yours, Oedipus, have been said in anger. Such words cannot help us here, nor any but those that teach us to obey the oracle.
King though you are, the right to answer when attacked belongs to both alike. I am not subject to you, but to Loxias, and therefore I shall never be Creon's subject. And I tell you, since you have taunted me with blindness, that though you have your sight, you cannot see in what misery you stand, nor where you are living, nor with whom, unknowing what you do, for you do not know the stock you come of. You have been your own kin's enemy, be they living or be they dead. And one day a mother's curse and a father's curse alike shall drive you from this land in dreadful haste, with darkness upon those eyes. Therefore, keep your scorn on Creon, and on my message if you have a mind to. For no one of living men shall be crushed as you shall be crushed.
Begone this instant! Away! Get thee from these doors!
I had never come, but that you sent for me.
I did not know you were mad.
I may seem mad to you, but your parents thought me sane.
My parents? Stop! Who was my father?
This day shall you know your birth, and it will ruin you.
What dark words you always speak.
But are you not most skillful in the unraveling of dark words?
You mock me for that which made me great.
It was that fortune that undid you.
What do I care? For I delivered all this town.
Then I will go. Boy, lead me out of this.
Yes, let him lead you. You take vexation with you.
I will go, but first I will do my errand. For frown though you may, you cannot destroy me. The man for whom you look, the man you have been threatening in all the proclamation about the death of Laius, that man is here. He seems, so far as looks go, an alien, yet he shall be found a native Theban, and shall nowise be glad of that fortune. The blind man, though now he has his sight, a beggar, though now he is most rich, he shall go forth feeling the ground before him with his stick. So you go in and think on that, and if you find I am in fault, say that I have no skill in prophecy.
And if this bloody rack pray for feet that run as fast as the four hoofs of the wind, loudy Parnassus and the Fates thunder at his back, that sacred crossing place of lines upon Parnassus' head, lines drawn through north and south and drawn through west and east, that navel of the world bids all men search the mountain wood, the solitary cavern, till they have found that infamous beast.
Fellow citizens, having heard that King Oedipus accuses me of dreadful things, I come in indignation. Does he think that he has suffered wrong from me in these present troubles, or anything that could lead to wrong, whether in word or in deed? How can I live under blame like that? What life would be worth having if by you here and by my nearest friends called a traitor through the town?
He said it in anger and not from his heart out.
He said it was I put up the seer to speak those falsehoods.
Such things were said.
And had he his right mind in saying it?
I do not know. I do not know what my masters do.
What brought you here? Have you a face so brazen that you come to my house? You, the proved assassin of its master, the certain robber of my crown? Come, tell me in the face of the gods, what cowardice or folly did you discover in me that you plotted this? Did you think that I would not see what you were at until you had crept upon me, or seeing it would not ward it off? What madness to seek a throne, having neither friends nor followers. Now listen, hear my answer, and then you may with knowledge judge between us. You are plausible, but waste words now that I know you. Hear what I have to say. I can explain it all. One thing you will not explain away, that you are my enemy. You're a fool to imagine that senseless stubbornness sits well upon you. And you to imagine that you can wrong a kinsman and escape the penalty. That was justly said, I grant you. But what is this wrong that you complain of? Did you advise or not that I should send for that notorious prophet? And I am of the same mind still. How long is it then since Laius... What about him? Since Laius was killed by an unknown hand. That was many years ago. And was this prophet at his trade in those days? Yes. Skilled as now, and in equal honor. Did he speak of me at any time? Never, certainly, when I was within earshot. And did you make inquiry into the murder? We made inquiry, but learnt nothing. And why did he not tell out his story then? I do not know. Where I lack light, I am silent. This much at least you know, and can say out. What is that? If I know it, I will say it. That if he had not consulted you, he never would have said that it was I who killed Laius. You know best what he said. But now, question for question. Question your fill. I cannot be proved guilty of that blood. Answer me then. Are you not married to my sister? That cannot be denied. And do you not rule as she does, and with like power? I give her all she asks for. And am I not the equal of you both? Yes, and that is why you are so false a friend. Not so. Reason this out as I reason it, and first weigh this. Who would prefer to lie awake amid terrors rather than to sleep in peace, granting that his powers are equal in both cases? Neither I nor any sober-minded man. You give me what I ask, and let me do what I want. But were I king, I would have to do things that I did not want to do. Is not influence and no trouble with it better than any throne? Am I such a fool as to hunger after unprofitable honors? Now all are glad to see me. Everyone wishes me well. And all that want a favor from you ask speech of me, finding in that their hope. Why should I give up these things and take those? No wise mind is treacherous. I am no contriver of plots, and should another take to them, he would not come to me for help. And in proof of this, go to the Pythian oracle and ask if I have truly told what the gods said. And after that, if you find that I have plotted with a soothsayer, take me and kill me. Not by the sentence of one mouth only, but of two mouths, yours and my own. But do not condemn me in a corner, upon some fancy and without proof. What right have you to declare a good man bad and a bad good? It is as bad to cast off a true friend as it is for a man to cast away his own life. But you will learn all these things with certainty when the time comes.
He has spoken well. He gives himself time to think. A headlong talker does not know what he's saying.
The plotter is at his work, and I must counterplot headlong, or he will get his ends and I miss mine.
What will you do then? Drive me from the land?
Not so. I do not desire your banishment, but your death.
You are not sane.
I am sane, at least in my own interest.
You should be in mine also.
No, oh, you are false.
But if you understand nothing,
yet I must rule.
Not if you rule badly.
Hear him, O Thebes!
Thebes is for me also, not for you alone.
Cease, princess. I see Jocasta coming out of the house. She comes just in time to quench the quarrel.
Unhappy men, why have you caused this crazy uproar? Are you not ashamed to quarrel about your own affairs when the whole country is in trouble? Go back into the palace, Oedipus, and you, Creon, to your own house. Stop making all this noise about some petty thing.
Your husband is about to kill me or drive me from the land of my fathers.
Yes, for I have convicted him of treachery against me.
Now may I perish accursed if I have done such a thing.
For God's love, believe it, Oedipus. First for the sake of his own, and then for my sake, and for the sake of these people here.
King, do what she asks.
What would you have me do?
Not to make a dishonorable charge with no more evidence than mere rumor against a friend who has bound himself with an oath.
Do you desire my exile or my death?
No. By Helios, by the first of all the gods, may I die abandoned by heaven and earth if I have that thought. What breaks my heart is that our public griefs should be increased by your quarrels.
Then let him go, though I am doomed thereby to death or to be thrust dishonored from the land. It is your lips, not his, that move me to compassion. Wherever he goes, my hatred follows him.
You are as sullen and yielding as you are vehement in anger. But such natures are their own heaviest burden.
Why will you not leave me in peace and be gone?
I will leave you. What is your hatred to me? In the eyes of all here, I am a just man.
Lady, why do you not take your man into the house?
I will do so when I have learned what has happened.
The half of it was blind suspicion bred of talk. The rest, the wounds left by injustice.
It was on both sides?
Yes.
What was it?
Our land is vexed enough. Let the thing alone now that it is over.
In the name of the gods, King, what put you in this anger?
I will tell you, for I honor you more than these do. The cause is Creon and his plots against me.
Speak on, if you can tell clearly how this quarrel arose.
He says that I am guilty of the blood of Laius.
On his own knowledge or on hearsay?
He has made a rascal of a seer his mouthpiece.
Do not fear that there is truth in what he says. Listen to me. and learn to your comfort that nothing born of woman can know what is to come. I will give you proof of that. An oracle came to Laius once, I will not say from Phoebus, but from his ministers, that he was doomed to die by the hand of his own child, sprung from him and me. When the child was but 3 days old, Laius bound its feet together and had it thrown by sure hands upon a trackless mountain. And when Laius was murdered at the place where 3 highways meet, it was, or so at least the rumor says, by foreign robbers. So Apollo did not bring it about that the child should kill its father, nor did Laius die in the dreadful way he feared by his child's hand. Yet that was how the message of the seers mapped out the future. Pay no attention to such things. What the god would show, he will need no help to show it, but bring it to light himself.
What restlessness of soul, lady, has come upon me since I've heard you speak? What a tumult of the mind.
What is this new anxiety? What has startled you?
You said that Laius was killed where 3 highways meet?
Yes, that was the story.
And where is the place?
In Phocis, where the road divides, branching off to Delphi and to Daulia.
And when did it happen? How many years ago?
News was published in this town just before you came into power.
Oh, Zeus! What have you planned to do unto me?
He was tall. The silver had just come into his hair, and in shape not greatly unlike to you.
Unhappy that I am. It seems that I have laid a dreadful curse upon myself, and did not know it.
What do you say? I tremble when I look on you, my king.
And I have a misgiving that the seer can see indeed. But I will know it all more clearly if you tell me one thing more.
Indeed. Though I tremble, I will answer whatever you ask.
Had he but a small troop with him, or did he travel like a great man with many followers?
There were but 5 in all, one of them a herald, and there was 1 carriage with Laius in it.
Alas, it is now clear indeed. Who was it brought the news, lady?
A servant, the one survivor.
Is he by chance in the house now?
No, for when he found you reigning instead of Laius, he besought me, his hand clasped in mine, to send him into the fields among the cattle, that he might be far from the sight of this town. And I sent him. He was a worthy man for a slave, and might have asked a bigger thing.
I would have him return to us without delay.
Oedipus, it is easy, but why do you ask this?
I fear that I have said too much. Therefore I would question him.
He shall come, but I too have a right to know what lies so heavy upon your heart, my king.
Yes, and it shall not be kept from you, now that my fear has grown so heavy. Nobody is more to me than you. Nobody has the same right to learn my good or evil luck. My father was Polybius of Corinth, my mother the Dorian Merope, and I held the foremost man in all that town until a thing happened. A thing to startle a man, though not to make him angry as it made me. We were sitting at the table, and a man who had drunk too much cried out that I was not my father's son. And I, though angry, restrained my anger for that day, but the next day went to my father and my mother and questioned them. They were indignant at the taunt, and that comforted me. And yet the man's words rankled, for they had spread a rumor through the town. Without consulting my father or my mother, I went to Delphi,
But Phoebus told me nothing of the things for which I had come, but much of other things, things of sorrow and of terror, that I should live in incest with my mother, and beget a brood that men would shudder to look upon, that I should be my father's murderer. Hearing those words, I fled out of Corinth, and from that day have but known where it lies when I have found its direction by the stars. I sought where I might escape those infamous things, the doom that was laid upon me. I came in my flight to that very spot where you tell me this king perished. Now, lady, I will tell you the truth. When I had come close up to those 3 roads, I came upon a herald, and a man like him you have described seated in a carriage. The man who held the reins and the old man himself would not give me room, but thought to force me from the path, and I struck the driver in my anger. The old man, seeing what I had done, waited until I was passing him and then struck me upon the head. I paid him back in full, for I knocked him out of the carriage with a blow of my stick. He rolled on his back, and after that, I killed them all. If this stranger were indeed Laius, is there a more miserable man in the world than the man before you? A man more hated of heaven? No stranger, no citizen may receive him into his house, and not a soul may speak to him, and no mouth but my own mouth has laid this curse upon me. Am I not wretched? May I be swept from the world before I have endured this doom.
These things, O king, fill us with terror. Yet hope till you speak with him that saw the deed, and have learnt all.
Till I have learnt all, I may hope. I await the man that is coming from the pastures.
What is it that you hope to learn?
I will tell you. If this tale agrees with yours, then I am clear.
What tale of mine?
He told you Laius met his death from robbers. If he keeps to that tale now and speaks of several slayers, I am not the slayer. But if he says one lonely wayfarer, then beyond a doubt the scale dips to me.
Be certain of this much at least. His first tale was of robbers. He cannot revoke that tale. The city heard it, and not I alone. Yet if he should somewhat change his story, king, at least he cannot make the murder of Laius swear with prophecy. For Laius plainly said of Alexius that he would die by the hand of my child. That poor innocent did not kill him, for it died before him. Therefore from this out, I would not for all divination can do, so much as look to my right hand, or to my left hand, or fear at all.
You have judged well, and yet for all that, send and bring this peasant to me.
I will send without delay. I will do all that you would have of me, but let us come into the house.
For this one thing above all, I would be praised as a man, that in my words and my deeds I have kept those laws in mind, Olympian Zeus, and that high clear Empyrean, fashioned and not some man or people of mankind. Even those sacred laws nor age nor sleep can blind. A man becomes a tyrant out of insolence. He climbs and climbs until all the people call him great. He seems upon the summit, and God flings him thence. Yet an ambitious man may lift up a whole state, and in his death be blessed, in his life fortunate. And all men honor such. But should a man forget the holy images, the Delphian Sibyl's trance and the Wells navel stone, and not be punished for it, and seem most fortunate, or even blessed perchance, why should we honor the gods or join the sacred dance?
has come into my head, citizens of Thebes, to visit every altar of the gods, a wreath in my hand and a dish of incense. For all manner of alarms trouble the soul of Oedipus, who instead of weighing new oracles by old like a man of sense, is at the mercy of every mouth that speaks terror. Seeing that my words are nothing to him, I cry to you, Lycian Apollo, whose altar is the first I meet. I come a suppliant, bearing symbols of prayer. Oh, make us cleave, for now we are all afraid, even as they who see the helmsman afraid.
May I learn from you, strangers, where is the home of King Oedipus? Or better still, tell me where he himself is, if you know.
This is his house, and he himself, stranger, is within it. And this lady is the mother of his children.
Then I call a blessing upon her, seeing what man she has married.
May God reward those words with a like blessing, stranger. But what have you come to seek or to tell?
Good news for your house, lady, and for your husband.
What news? From whence have you come?
From Corinth, and you will rejoice at the message I am about to give you. And yet maybe it will grieve you.
What is it? How can it have this double power?
The people of Corinth, they say, will take him for king.
How now? Is old Polybius no longer on the throne?
No, he is in his tomb.
What do you say? Is Polybius dead, old man?
May the gods destroy me if it is not the truth.
Away! Hurry to your master with this news. O oracle of the gods, where are you now? This is the man whom Oedipus feared and shunned, lest he should murder him. And now this man has died a natural death, and not by the hand of Oedipus.
Jocasta, dearest wife, why have you called me from the house?
Listen to this man, and judge to what the oracles of the gods have come.
And he? Who may he be? And what news has he?
He has come from Corinth to tell you that your father, Polybius, is dead.
How, stranger? Let me have it from your own mouth.
If I am to tell the story, the first thing is that he is dead and gone.
By some sickness or by treachery?
A little thing can bring the aged to their rest.
Ah, he died, it seems, from sickness.
Yes, and of old age.
Alas, alas. Why indeed, my wife, should one look to the Pythian seer or to the birds that scream above our heads? For they would have it that I was doomed to kill my father, and now he is dead, hid already beneath the earth. And here am I, who had no part in it, unless indeed he died from longing for me. If that was so, I may have caused his death. But Polybius has carried the oracles with him into Hades, the oracles as men have understood them, and they are worth nothing.
Did I not tell you so long since?
You did, but fear misled me.
Put this trouble from you.
Those bold words would sound better were not my mother living. But as it is, I have some grounds for fear, yet you have said well.
Yet your father's death is a sign that all is well.
I know that, but I fear because of her who lives.
Who is this woman who makes you afraid?
Merope, old man, the wife of Polybius.
What is there in her to make you afraid?
A dreadful oracle sent from heaven, stranger.
Is it a secret, or can you speak it out?
Loxias said that I was doomed to marry my own mother and to shed my father's blood. For that reason I fled from my house in Corinth, and I did right, though there is great comfort in familiar faces.
Was it indeed for that reason that you went into exile? Have I not freed you from that fear?
You shall be fittingly rewarded.
Indeed, to tell the truth, it was for that I came, to bring you home and be the better for
No! I will never go to my parents' home.
Ah, my son, it is plain you do not know what you do.
How, old man? For the gods' love, tell me!
If for these reasons you shrink from going home.
I am afraid lest Phoebus has spoken true.
You are afraid of being made guilty through Merope?
That is my constant fear.
A vain fear.
How so, if I was born of that father and mother?
because they were nothing to you in blood.
What do you say? Was Polybius not my father?
No more nor less than myself.
How can my father be no more to me than you, who are nothing to me?
He did not beget you any more than I.
No? Then why did he call me his son?
He took you as a gift from these hands of mine.
How could he love so dearly what came from another's hands?
He had been childless.
If I am not your son, where did you get me?
In a wooded valley in Kithaeron.
What brought you wandering there?
I was in charge of mountain sheep.
A shepherd, a wandering hired man.
A hired man who came just in time.
Just in time. Had it come to that?
Have not the cords left their marks upon your ankles?
Yes, that is an old trouble.
I took your feet out of the spancel.
I have had those marks from the cradle.
They have given you the name you bear.
Tell me, for the gods' sake, was that deed my mother's or my father's?
I do not know. He who gave you to me knows more of that than I.
What? You had me from another? You did not chance on me yourself?
No, another shepherd gave you to me.
Who was he? Can you tell me who he was?
I think he was said to be of Laius' household.
The king who ruled this country long ago?
The same. The man was herdsman in his service.
Is he alive that I might speak with him?
You people of this country should know that.
Is there anyone here present who knows the herd he speaks of? Anyone who has seen him in the town pastures? The hour has come when all must be made clear.
I think he is the very herd you sent for, but now Jocasta can tell you better than I.
Why ask about that man? Why think about him? Why waste the thought on what that man has said? What he has said is of no account.
What? With a clue like that in my hands and fail to find out my birth?
For God's sake, if you set any value upon your life, give up this search. My misery is enough.
Oh, I be proved the son of a slave, yes, even of 3 generations of slaves. You cannot be made base-born.
Yet here, I implore, give up this search.
I will not hear of anything but searching the whole thing out.
I am only thinking of your good. I have advised you for the best.
Your advice makes me impatient.
You'll never come to know who you are, unhappy man.
Go, someone, bring the herdsman here, and let that woman glory in her noble blood.
Alas, alas, miserable man, miserable. That is all that I can call you now, or forever.
Why has the lady gone, Oedipus, in such transport of despair? Out of this silence will burst a storm of sorrows.
Let come what will. However lowly my origin, I will discover it. That woman, with all a woman's pride, grows red with shame at my base birth. I think myself the child of good luck, and that the years are my foster brothers. Sometimes they have set me up, and sometimes thrown me down. But he that has good luck for mother can suffer no dishonor. That is my origin. Nothing can change it. So why should I renounce this search into my birth?
Oedipus nursed mountain of many a hidden glen, be honored among men, a famous man, deep-thoughted and his body strong, be honored in dance and song, who met in the hidden glen, who let his fancy run upon nymph of Helicon, Lord Pan or Lord Apollo or the mountain Lord, by the Bacchants adored.
If I, who have never met the man, may venture to say so, I think that the herdsman we await approaches. His venerable age matches with this stranger's, and I recognize as servants of mine those who bring him. But you, if you have seen the man before, will know the man better than I.
Yes, I know the man who is coming. He was indeed in Laius' service, and is still the most trusted of the herdsmen.
I ask you first, Corinthian stranger, is this the man you mean?
He is the very man.
Look at me, old man. Answer my questions. Were you once in Laius' service?
I was not a bought slave, but reared up in the house.
What was your work, your manner of life?
For the best part of my life, I have tended flocks.
Where, mainly?
Kithaeron, or its neighborhood.
Do you remember meeting with this man there?
What man do you mean?
This man! Did you ever meet him?
I cannot recall him to mind.
No wonder in that, master, but I will bring back his memory. He and I lived side by side upon Kithaeron. I had but one flock, and he had two. 3 full half years we lived there, from spring to autumn, and every winter I drove my flock to my own fold, while he drove his to the fold of Laius. Is that right? Was that not so?
True enough, though it was long ago.
Come, tell me now, do you remember giving me a boy to rear as my own foster son?
What are you saying? Why do you ask me that?
Look at that man, my friend. He is the child you gave me.
A plague upon you! Cannot you hold your tongue?
Do not blame him, old man. Your own words are more blamable.
And how have I offended, master?
In not telling of that boy he asks of.
He speaks from ignorance, and does not know what he is saying.
If you will not speak with a good grace, you shall be made to speak.
Do not hurt me for the love of God. I am an old man.
Someone there! Tie his hands behind his back.
Alas! Wherefore? What more would you learn?
Did you give this man the child he speaks of?
I did. Would I had died that day.
Well, you may come to that unless you speak the truth.
Much more am I lost if I speak it.
What? Would the fellow make more delay?
No. I said before that I gave it to him.
Where did you come by it? Your own child or another?
It was not my own child. I had it from another.
From any of these here? From what house?
Do not ask any more, master. For the love of God, do not ask.
You are lost if I have to question you again.
It was a child from the house of Laius.
A slave? Or one of his own race?
Alas, I am on the edge of dreadful words.
And I am hearing, yet hear I must.
It was said to have been his own child. But your lady within can tell you of these things How? It was she gave it to you? Yes, King. To what end? That I should make away with it. Her own child? Yes, from fear of evil prophecies. What prophecies? That he should kill his father. Why then did you give him up to this old man? Through pity, master, believing that he would carry him to whatever land he had himself come from. But he saved him for dreadful misery. For if you are what this man says, you are the most miserable of all men.
Generation of man attain but build up a dazzling mockery of delight that under their touch dissolves again. Oedipus seemed blessed, but there is no man blessed amongst men. Oedipus overcame the woman-breasted fate. He seemed like a strong tower against death, and first among the fortunate. He sat upon the ancient throne of Thebes, and all men called him great. But looking for a marriage bed, he found the bed of his birth. Tilled the field his father had tilled, cast seed into the same abounding earth, entered through the door that had sent him wailing forth. never come to Thebes, nor to this house, nor wrestle with the woman-breasted fate, beaten off death and succored us, that I had never raised this song. Heart broken, Oedipus.
Friends and kinsmen of this house,
You bring us a new tale?
a short tale in the telling. Jocasta, our queen, is dead.
Alas, miserable woman, how did she die?
By her own hand. Curtain is parting. You are going to look upon a sight which even those who shudder must pity.
Dreadful to the sight of the eye.
Woe is me.
Dreadful to the ear.
Miserable, miserable that I am. Where am I? Where am I going? Where am I cast away? Oh, here's my words. Three roads, oh secret glen, oh coppice and narrow way where three roads met.
Make way for Oedipus. All the people said, that is a fortunate man. And now what storms are beating on his head. All and no man fortunate that he is not dead. The dead